Hey, this is Dave Negri, your host with Contractors Secret Weapon today, and I just want to thank you for joining us. Today I have special guest Chris Martinez from Houston, Texas. He has a window washing company, and Chris has been gracious enough to join the show, and we are continuing that side special that we were talking about on reoccurring revenue, and really listen to a lot of stuff that we talk about because it's just an ongoing conversation, and we cover a ton of nuggets that really could be helpful to your business. And I hope you get a lot out of it because I had a lot of fun with Chris today, and we enjoyed the talk, and we're just hoping that everyone gets a value out of the today's episode. So here we go.
Yes, sir. That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
We last week we did about $10,000 in sale revenue, and we only had 11 jobs on the books. So it's not about how many jobs you can do. It's about it's about the customer you can attract. You know.
That's right, and it's about the money you're going to make. And it was kind of funny because I was sitting one day. I went into the pressure washing place to get some parts and stuff, and there were two guys in there. They were talking about. And they said, "Did you know that you could be too cheap?" And I started laughing. And I go, "Well, yeah, absolutely." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because we're in this community, and we were cleaning pool cages and pool decks for like $100." And I go, "Well, why would you get out of bed for that?" And he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "They said that one homeowner come out and says, 'You're too cheap. You wouldn't normally pay $175.' And I'm going, "Why would you get out of bed for that too?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Well, how many roofs do you clean a day?" He goes, we do 3 a day." And I go, "Well, why do you do that?" And he goes, and he's just perplexed, just,
Yeah.
What do you mean, why? And I go, "Well, I mean, I clean 1 a day, and my average roof's $1,000. I'm not going to bust my stones climbing up 3 roofs a day
That's right.
just because somebody wants a cheap price. I'd rather do nothing."
Yeah.
What? What? Nobody understands that. Most people don't understand that. And
Let me ask you this: how would you apply the monthly service to roof washing?
well, see, because I do painting and I do pressure cleaning, then I tie it all in.
Okay.
I do a whole yearly program, and I break it down. So I do the roof cleaning, I do pressure cleaning, I do window washing, which I don't normally do, but I'll do it for those customers, and I'll do some repairs, minor repairs, and some painting, touch-ups,
Gotcha.
and stuff like that. So here's what actually happened with me. When I started that, I did a yearly service, and once a year I'd get my customers set up on it, and I schedule them, and I send them a postcard. I send them a postcard and a Starbucks card. And I say, our time's coming up, and we'll be there on this such and such a date. Your normal maintenance program, we got that all taken care of. We're ready to go. But go have a cup of coffee and sit down and make me out a list of all the things extra that you might want done. In every year, for the last 8 years, I've gotten, oh golly, my average for one of my customers that loves me, he spends $1,000 a year. Last year, I ended up with when I left a bill for $4,000, and every year it was at least between 50 and 400%. Because of that card, because of that Starbucks card.
Yeah. Good deal.
So I mean, I'm a firm believer in the funny part is they love it because they've got someone coming out and taking a look at their house and see, what's going on, and it's like there's no aha moments if and when they do decide to sell it.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, so there's lots of things you can do. You can add it to your window cleaning. You can do a roof clean once a year. Now I've got a guy down in Naples, Fort Myers area, which is about 3-4 hours south of here, and I've been talking with him. He's a distributor for a product called liquid zinc. And zinc is a natural inhibitor for algae growth. And he has customers that he goes out every year, and he, on a yearly program, he'll clean them the first time, and then every year he sets them on a maintenance program to just go out and spray the roofs with the liquid zinc.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
And I'm trying to get him on the interview because he didn't even know he never even realized what he had done. But he has about he does about $600,000 a year just in that one product. He said, I keep 12 guys busy all summer long just spraying roofs. And he says,
good.
You know, in Naples, it's probably like where you are. You got a lot of high-end homes. I mean, they got a lot of high-end homes in Naples. So he goes, we got those. We do a lot of condominium associations where we just go and we just spray them once a year. It's a regular maintenance program. And I said, how much do you charge square foot? And he goes, between 5 and 7 cents a square foot. And he said, if there's nobody in your area, you can charge more.
Yeah.
No competition. He says, matter of fact, he's a distributor for Florida. And he said, I sell to a guy that's in the same town, Naples, and he doubles. His price is double mine.
Wow.
It doesn't conflict with the business at all because, you know, I mean, how many times I don't hardly run into any guys that I know of that are decent roof cleaners. I always run into guys that are trying to do it for 10 cents a square foot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So there's a ton of ways to get that recurring income coming in. And I know you originally, from what I could surmise, did it as a marketing.
Yeah. Yep.
To get your truck in a community on a regular basis so everyone would see it, which I think is brilliant.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we actually, we purposely, because when some people, they'll say you have 3 homes in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
The ideal thing is to do all 3 homes the same day.
Yeah.
But I look at things a little bit differently, so I'll actually plan it to where we'll do those 3 homes 3 separate days, and hopefully on the same week, just so I can get my van in that neighborhood 3 days in a row, and people will start to see my van like, dang, he's doing another home in here. If they just see it one day, they don't know you're doing 3 homes in there, but they see you 3 separate days doing 3 separate homes. It's kind of like, holy cow, you know? So, yeah, we do things a little bit differently, and we have I try to do things marketing. I look at the bigger picture, like not just how much is it going to cost me today and how much am I going to get back today, but how much is it going to cost me today. Customer lifetime value plays a huge role in everything we do because it's not just about, customer acquisition costs are very important, but in the window cleaning field, we have the luxury of doing a customer 2-3 times a year, if not more. So it's more than just, can we get a sale today? It's like, can we get a sale today and 3 months from now, 6 months from now, can we get their neighbors? Can we get the whole neighborhood? And so it's a lot that goes into the thought process than just getting one customer, one time. And so, yeah, the monthly thing was more than just getting a customer.
Well, yeah, and the nice part about it is that when you break it down, and I'm sure you realize that, it brings the lifetime value of your customer way, way up. Because now instead of doing them, 2 or 3 times a year, you're doing them 10, 12 times a year.
That's right.
So what's your average ticket on a house like that?
We do, so we have we do 11 windows for $65 a month.
Okay.
So it's 11 exterior windows, flat pieces of glass. If you want a second story window added onto that, then it's going to be extra.
Sure.
If you want to go past the 11 windows, it's going to be extra. but $65 a month. And so it's the goal was at first the way it all happened was we were doing a house, and the lady's Polaris kept hitting her windows. And I've already had been in my mind like we should start, because one thing I tried to keep away from was the route work. But the reason I like route work is because it's always there. There's no slow season for it, but I don't like route work because I don't like to, like you said earlier, you got out of bed for that? You know, it's $12, or $40.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, I understand that.
so we were like, well, how could we do something kind of similar to route work, but it focused on residential. So we kind of dabbled with the monthly thing. And so we're in the house, and the Polaris from the pool kept hitting the window, and the lady, she's looking at it like, is there any way you can come back every single month and just clean these windows for us?
Absolutely.
And I was like, this is the start. And I thought about it, and I said, this is it. This is the start. And I told her it's going to be $6 a window. Typically we charge $8 a window, but we're going to do $6 a window. There's 11 of them, so it's going to be $66. And just to make it, an easy number, we just decided to, for future customers, do $65 for 11 windows. And typically 95% of the houses are all the same. They're always the windows that are in the backyard, facing the pool.
Yeah.
Whatever windows have the best view. And it takes us usually 10, 15 minutes to do it. So the idea was we only do it in one zip code because we were just going to play with it, see how it was going to be.
Right.
And we just wanted to do it in one zip code. My idea is I'll have the crews out there doing their work, and then once a month I'll get to go out there and wash some windows, and that'll be kind of like my bonus. So I said, well, how much money do I want to make? And I was like, well, let's do a normal, one person day, $500-600.
Sure.
So how many customers will you need, to get to that $500 or $600? It's like, well, it's not a lot. You need about 8 customers. So, we went after 8 people and got them that first month, and it was kind of like, man, this is going to be huge. What if we could start a whole? So next spring, that's our goal, is to have like a route crew out there just doing nothing but monthly customers, and that's kind of a big step, but I think it's very profitable. The people see you in the neighborhood every single day or every single week, every single month. So.
Not only that, but it gives the appearance that you have a huge service.
Absolutely.
Because you're always there.
It's the perception, yep. And then people are willing to pay for that perception because now you're a trusted company. I see him in my neighborhood all the time. He's not the cheapest, but I see my neighbors use them, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that trust. So. Right.
Well, that's one of the things that I learned about when you're starting to high-end homes in different communities is that you can't. One of the main ways in there is you either piggyback off of another business or you get referred by one homeowner, because you can probably do all the marketing in the world in there, and it's not going to fly as much as the referral will all the time. So I mean, if you can build your business, that off of referrals. Like if you got a doctor, how many other doctors that want their houses done like this? We'll give you 1 month free for every one.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. Yeah, and we do with the internet today. A lot of these neighborhoods have neighborhood websites, so we're always encouraging customers. Hey, not just on Facebook or Google; those are great. But do you have a neighborhood website? Would you mind just leaving us just a little review? Hey, you got my windows cleaned, got my roof washed, got my house pressure washed. They did a great job. Because those community websites, they go a long ways.
Well, they do. I've gotten a lot of business from a couple just from that, myself, where people will put in there, hey, they did this and they did this, and one lady called me, she says, do you clean gutters? I says, I will for you,
That's right.
Because it was referred from a community website. So, it's those are little nuggets of gold that a lot of guys don't even think about. They just think about either direct marketing, whether it be Google or Facebook or even direct mail. But a lot of times it's it's the actual, homeowners associations. There are little websites where they refer and say, hey, they did a great job. One of the other things that's gotten me a lot of business. Do you clean roofs because they get letters from their homeowners association?
We haven't had very many of those.
Okay.
We do a lot of like driveways and houses, but here, believe it or not, in the Houston area, people aren't very well educated on black roofs. So,
yeah.
There's green mold on your house. Oh yeah, they'll get a letter in a heartbeat. Or there's, black mold on your driveway. You need to get that taken care of. Then yes,
Okay.
but the roofs, we haven't seen that too much.
Okay. Well, this would work for that too.
Yeah.
A lot of the calls that I get are from people who've gotten, that nasty letter from the homeowners association. So what I do is I tell them when I do the proposal, I say, hey, here's what we're going to do for you because, we do this for all of our great clients, is we take before and after pictures, and we send them to your homeowners association for you on your behalf.
Yeah, awesome.
And they go, you'll do that for me? I said, absolutely. So we do that. Now what happens is once the homeowner or the HOA gets them, then they'll start. They say, we don't refer people, but we know this guy works in the neighborhood. He's done a lot of the homes.
Yep, and it gets you in front of that HOA.
Yeah, so and I said, that's one of the first questions when somebody calls, did you get that nasty letter? Because then it really ticks them off. They got to do it.
That's right.
So what are some of the other things? Is that mainly the thing you're doing? Oh, somebody's trying to call, and that's what it is. Have you thought about doing the roof cleaning or anything, tying anything else in with the monthly stuff?
We did. I had a friend that lived in Austin, and he has a monthly service for his pressure washing company.
Okay.
And he goes after high-end homes. So I remember talking to him. I was like, how do you pressure wash a home every single month? And he said, well, here in the Austin area, and it's the same here in Houston, particularly around the lakes, spider webs grow rather quickly around the homes. So, a customer had told me this too, and he kind of said the same thing. You have kind of in the cleaning world, you have a couple different type of customers. You have three different types of customers. You have the customer that waits till it gets dirty and then cleans it. A customer that doesn't clean it at all. And then there's the customer that doesn't want to see any kind of dirt whatsoever. They want it cleaned before it gets dirty. So he said he started offering this service plan, and every single month he'll go out there and clean all the spider webs off and dirt dauber's nest, and he guarantees it, you'll never see a spider web on your property again. I'll get it off.
Pretty cool deal. I know.
Yeah.
I know here the guy that does the bugs, they'll go through and with one of those round brooms and sweep out stuff, but they don't do nothing with the mud daubers.
Yeah, so, he also, he does pressure washing and window cleaning as well, so not only does it get him in front of that customer every single month, now he can have the ability to upsell his other services and talk to the neighbors and upsell to them as well. But, we have decided, here starting next spring, we're going to really start getting into the monthly thing with our pressure washing and our window cleaning. I liked what you were talking about earlier when we were talking about the roof washing, just the preventative maintenance on it. But yeah, I mean, we're always open to try to, anything that's going to bring in another source of income for the company. Definitely interested. So.
Well, yeah, and the nice part about when you start doing recurring revenue, and if you, ever decide, whenever you decide to sell your company, now it's worth more.
Absolutely.
A lot more than just a normal business because you have that income coming in. So, because basically what you've done is you've gotten to the point where you've owned your customers, and they're not.
That's right.
For anybody else because they're writing that check or they're getting that credit card statement every single month. It's like it's sort of like AT&T. They got to really tick you off to change over to Verizon or the other way around.
That's right.
Because
that's right.
You're not going to stop because it's too much of a hassle to stop and start over again. So that's one of the things that I love about, the recurring revenue and setting up your business as
especially in the residential niche, because commercial, they're always looking to save money on the budgets, but residential, if you can build a relationship with them and get to know them on first name basis, it doesn't matter how cheap the next guy is, they'll always use you, unless you just tick them off,
Right. Yeah, and there's got to be something really bad, but it's an amazing thing, and I'm really glad that we got to talk, because a lot of guys need to really think about what they can do for their business to create added revenue, because right now, I mean, I don't know where you are in the swing of things, but we're 8 years into a 10-year cycle of it being busy, and then it'll start down again, and then it'll go back down, and it'll start back up again. So if you have recurring revenue right now, then you're going to be way ahead of the guys in your area, way ahead of your competition who's going to be scrambling, because they're going to lose their customers because they're cheap.
Yes, absolutely.
The cheap guys are going to lose out. But guys like you and me who actually give value to our customers, and they know that they're going to hold on. They have a lot of discretionary income. So, and I love the way you did it. $65 is one dinner a month.
Yes. I mean, we haven't had anyone yet say that's just too much money. The only thing that we really hear is, I don't think my windows are going to get that dirty in a month, which it's not for everybody, which we know that. That's fine. But, I mean, just think about it. Like we just said, $65 a month, and you get 8 customers. It's an extra, about $500 extra a month. I mean, and if you do it right, I mean, that's a pretty good little chunk of money, considering that it's just extra for us. We don't really need it. It's extra.
Great.
So if you do that 2, 3, 4 times a day, what if you had a whole week of just all we do is monthly customers? I mean, that could be pretty powerful, especially in January and February when it gets to be really slow, especially here for us.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you have, your monthly customers, and now you get to market to their next door neighbors, and you get to market to their neighborhood. And, I mean, there's so much that you can do with it. I mean, it's not just doing the job one time. It's actually, you can really get in depth with it. You can start doing Facebook ads that just target that neighborhood or the neighborhoods around it.
Right.
And I mean, you can do so much. It's powerful when you really think about it. It's not just $65 a month. This is if you can wrap your head around it. I mean, it's actually a whole lot more than that. And I'll give you an example. Just this week, we did 2 neighbors' houses from our $65 a month job.
Okay.
So a neighbor 2 doors down, she got her windows cleaned inside and out, and that was around $450. And then the other neighbor, windows cleaned inside and out, house pressure washed, it was about $700-800. Okay. So that $65 a month turned into 2 neighbors, which is right around $1,100-1,200. So free, that basically free. It didn't cost us anything. It was a referral, and it just starts to snowball after that. So it's really powerful once you start to really wrap your head around the $65 a month. It's not just $65 a month.
No.
It's limitless. It's like a huge, if like you said, if guys could wrap their head around it, and whatever field that they're in, figure out a way that you can be in front of that customer all the time.
And of course, the more that you're in front of them, the more that they'll refer you, which is kind of a weird thing. And I always love that, like-minded people always refer like-minded people.
That's right.
So I'm just running the numbers here. So let's say your first, just for the fun of it, your first in is $450, and then you got 65 times 11 is That's 65 times 11. So that's 750. So that's $1,200 for your first year, and you keep them for 5 years, which I've kept a lot of my customers for 25. So just let's say 5. So that customer, that's $450 customer, or that $65 customer, is worth $6,000 the day you walk on that property. The first day you walk on that property, they're worth $6,000.
Yeah. And you know, Howard Partridge would even take that a little bit further and say, how many people can you get this customer to refer?
Right.
And how many, you know, so, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hear you. So, I mean, it's the, you know, this is kind of stuff that excites me because it's like when people start talking about customer acquisition costs and all that, they can really complicate things and start getting discouraged. And the beautiful thing about window cleaning is yeah, you need to follow, you know, you need to have healthy numbers, and the customer acquisition cost is definitely one of them. But it's okay to have a little bit high one at first, because if you do your job right and you can keep them, you're not really paying for them the second or third time. And if you can get them on a monthly plan, shoot, dude, you're in the money.
Yeah,
you're
forever.
in it, you know.
Forever.
Yeah.
And like, I was running numbers one day. I was sitting down with one of my coaches, and we were talking about lifetime value of just not only that customer, but what they referred. And so I was lucky. I just talked to one of the customers, and I'm going, we're going to use this guy. And I painted his house 20 years ago, and so I got that. And then through the years, between painting 2 or 3 more times, and this was just painting, and referrals for painting was over $55,000.
Wow.
Just from one customer. And I'm going, because we were talking about, you know, keeping in touch with your customer and sending out a newsletter. And so let's say it costs you $12 a year to send out to a customer. At what point does it not become profitable? Never.
That's right.
Because I've always gotten a great return. For every dollar I spend on a newsletter, I get $21 back.
That's great.
So that's pretty cool that you're thinking about and moving towards that direction, because, I mean, it really is a no-brainer once you start thinking about it. And we just want to give a lot of other guys a lot of hope in saying it can be done. I've gotten things that, oh, I tried that. You know, like Yoda says, there's no such thing as try. You just do.
That's right.
Until it works.
Well, you know, the thing about most of the things we do is a lot of people tell me all the time what we do wrong. Like, oh, I've tried that, it doesn't work. And I'm like, well, it works, you know, there's a wrong way of doing things and there's a right way of doing things. And I'm not saying we do everything right, because I mean, obviously we're still learning, but I mean, we do things to a point to where it's not just always about revenue. We like to think about domination. Like, I don't want to compete with the other window cleaners or roof washers around here. So a lot of that is marketing. If you can get your marketing down, it makes the sales process easier, and yeah, I mean, it's so much, what's that?
That you become that trusted advisor to this.
That's right. That's right.
And they're not buying on price, they're buying you, they're buying the value of your company, the value of what they get. And, you know, another guy could, like, I've talked to a lot of my customers, and I said, we get people come by here all the time, and they'll do stuff for half your price, and we're afraid to let them touch our place.
Yeah, you know, well, that's the beautiful thing about the service business is we're not a product. You know, you take a Yeti cup, and if I can get a Yeti cup for $5 somewhere, I'm going with the $5 Yeti cup. It's the same cup. But with the service business, you're not, like, I'll always say this, we don't sell a window cleaning service, we sell our experience. So that's the beautiful thing about the service industry is you can provide an experience that no other company has. You just got to figure out what it is, and it could just be one thing. That's it, one thing that separates you from everybody else.
Yep.
And then boom, you got it.
And that's the only thing your competition can't take away from you.
That's right.
Experience. They can play with the pricing. They can play with a lot of other things, but they can't copy the experience that you give. So that's yours alone, and you need to work on that no matter what. So, hey, this has really been cool. I'm glad that we got a chance to talk. And I'll put this, because we didn't get through. Today I'm talking with Chris Martinez. I'll put this in the front, from Houston, Texas. Has a window cleaning and pressure washing and roof cleaning company. And I just really wanted to, thank you for being with us today, Chris. I've been following you on Facebook and some of the groups, and you are one of the guys that really takes his business serious and tries, that I see, that is really doing everything he can to make everything work, no matter what. And so you're going to go a long way. And even in the short years, you've come a long way. So it's pretty awesome.
I appreciate it, Dave. It's such a blessing to be on here, man. I appreciate it.
Cool. So let's just put this out. Hope a lot of other guys can get inspired and take some of the things that we talked about and just run with it.
Yes, sir.